Welcome to the Steps in Purpose podcast with EdieAnne. This podcast explores emotional awareness, faith, and purposeful living through short, reflective conversations designed to help you notice where you are and take your next step with clarity. Thanks for being here. What if creating boundaries in your relationships is one of the most loving things that you could do for yourself? You know, that question can feel uncomfortable, especially if you are a person who cares deeply and want people to feel okay. Right? Maybe you're the peacekeeper. For many of us, boundaries have been misunderstood, often feeling like pushing people away, being harsh, being difficult, maybe creating distance. And sometimes when we feel overwhelmed, we react from a place of defensiveness and we become sharp. I know that personally. I've been told many times that sometimes when I create boundaries that I am harsh. But as I've grown, I've gotten a different understanding where boundaries are rooted in love. That boundaries can be healthy. They can be honest and a form of stewardship. And they can sound like a quiet statement, like this is what I can carry. And this belongs to someone else. This is yours. Right? And it takes practice. Many people naturally step into the role of helper, fixer, peacekeeper, right? And it becomes second nature to read the room before anyone speaks. So years of adjusting to others can make creating space feel unfamiliar. And at first, it can feel selfish. But over time, it can begin to feel sacred. God calls us to live with strength and care, not exhaustion. Which means you can love people and still hold limits. You can care deeply and still create space for yourself. You can show compassion and still speak honestly. And you can forgive while still choosing a healthier path forward, right? A boundary becomes a place where love has structure, much like a house. It's got walls, doors, rooms, right? It creates safety, rest, a place to connect. And relationships need that same structure. Without boundaries, everything kind of blends together and other people's emotions start to feel like your responsibility. Their choices become your burdens. Their disappointments feel urgent. And their opinions start to be what you see yourself. It can lead to a buildup of resentment, exhaustion, anxiety, and that sense of being stretched thin, right? Because you're taking on someone else's stuff. Those feelings are not random, but they're signals telling you something needs to change. And this is where boundaries become a tool for peace. Boundaries are not about controlling other people, okay? But about protecting your peace, your space. Helping you decide what you'll carry and what you'll release. Keeping you grounded instead of overwhelmed and allowing you to respond instead of react. Creating boundaries starts with awareness, right? So ask yourself, where do you feel drained? Where are you feeling that pressure? Maybe where are you feeling that resentment building? Where are you saying yes when you really should be taking space for yourself? Because those answers are going to point you to where a boundary might be needed. the key lesson here is that peace does not come from keeping everyone else happy, but from being honest about what you need and honoring that. What might look like saying, I need time before I answer. I can help with this, but I need to rest after. Or I care about you and I want this conversation to stay respectful. Or I'm not able to take that on right now. Or I'm going to step away and come back when I feel calm. These aren't harsh statements, but they're clear, they're calm, they're respectful ones, and clarity creates space. Sometimes a boundary is not even spoken out loud, but shown by choosing not to engage in an argument, not over-explaining yourself, stepping away from something that's draining you, or giving yourself permission to rest. Hopefully I can share this with you, but even Jesus modeled this by loving people deeply while also stepping away to pray, to rest, and not responding to every demand. Staying connected to God and allowing that connection to guide his choices, which is what boundaries do for us by keeping us connected to peace instead of being pulled in every direction. It's important to remember that not everyone is going to understand your boundaries, right? When you say you want to step away, they're going to be like, why? Can't handle this? Especially those who were comfortable with the version that you had no boundaries with, right? But your goal is not to keep everyone comfortable, but it's to live in peace, right? When you've got peace, you show up better, you love better, you think clearly, you respond with patience instead of frustration, you stop building resentment, and boundaries protect that. So instead of asking, will this upset someone? Try asking, will this protect my peace? Because that shift is going to change everything. So this week, keep it simple. Notice where you feel overwhelmed. Choose one small boundary. Speak it calmly, but follow through with it. And trust that peace will begin to grow from there. You can love people and still protect your peace. You can still be kind and still be clear and still choose peace. I want you to know that there's more information and more of this talk over on my website at EdieAnne.com. And I'd encourage you to head over there and see what's available to you. But I want you to know that when you are creating boundaries for yourself, your next step matters. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep stepping in purpose.